Hello and welcome to Trojans Live, presented by Monster Energy on ESPN LA 710 across the USC Trojans Media Network. I am Jordan Moore alongside Sean Cody, and we're shifting some things around tonight. We've got Keely Yore joining us as a co-host tonight, and we've moved the schedule a little bit, and we will start with women's basketball. We've got a real star in our house, Kiki, Iriafen. The Women's Spotlight is brought to you by Sprouts Farmers Market, open 7 days a week. Visit your neighborhood Sprouts for good-for-you groceries and great prices on the freshest produce. USC Women's Basketball, number 3 in the nation, already knocked off a top 20 team in Paris. Kiki, welcome to Trojans Live. Welcome to the Trojan family. Kiki's a grad transfer from Stanford. We watched her in amazement up there, and very happy to steal you down here. How's your experience as a Trojan so far? You got a free trip to Paris. That's a pretty good way to start it.
I did. Thank you, for having me on your show. Paris was a dream. I think, having your first ever one USC game, but my first game of my senior season. So it was just a blessing to be in Paris. The architecture is great. The food was great. The pastries. And then to really grind out a tough win. We had to fight for every single thing. But I think Paris allowed my teammates and I to bond as we are going to, face tougher battles along the season.
Ooh, Sean's going to ask a pastry question.
Oh, yeah, I'm a big croissant guy. If you don't know, Kiki, that's very well known on this show that we like croissants. But I want to talk about, obviously, it was a great game, tough battle in Paris, and then you come back and you put a butt whipping on Cal Poly. How what kind of battle is that when it gets out of hand like that in the game?
Yeah, I think Ole Miss, we're glad that we won the game, but we weren't satisfied. So I think Cal Poly kind of got the brunt of what we've been working on in practice since we came back from Paris, and we want to be sharp. It doesn't matter who we're playing, regardless of what school we're playing. We want to make sure we're on our details. So I think we really honed in on that once we got back, and then for our game tomorrow, the same thing. We want to, make sure we have the same habits so that when we play those top 25 teams that we can take care of business.
This time a week ago, you were international, and then you had a game on Saturday, a game tomorrow. What's been the recovery and prep like for you guys?
Well, I just came from a massage, so I'm really grateful for my coaches for setting that up for me. But we really prioritize our recovery, so ice baths, getting your treatment, all of that is really, really prioritized on our team.
Did you get jet lag? Did you get jet lag worse when you got there or when you came home?
Honestly, going there was worse. We got there around 2 p.m. and we all wanted to go to sleep, but it was no, business as usual. But I think, honestly, the city was so beautiful that you really didn't care. You really didn't care about how tired you were.
It seemed like a cool arena. What was the actual playing the game like? It was also interesting too because it looked like you guys were behind LED boards. It felt a little bit different.
Yeah, so we played in the official Paris basketball arena, which I think was built or unveiled 6 months ago, so pretty new.
The house that Wembanyama built.
Exactly. There you go. But no, it was really well done. Everything was great. But because they play internationally, the court or the lane was a little bit wider.
Oh, nice.
So they had to shrink that down for us because we don't use all of that space. But the facilities were great. The locker rooms, everything from top to bottom was a great experience for us and then for our fans. We had a pretty great turnout from USC fans too. So I think that's really what helped us propel and get the W as well.
Kiki, talk about the expectations for this team. Obviously, USC last year made a nice run. You had a fantastic year last year. You're joining up with the squad. What are the expectations for this year's women's basketball team?
High. I'd say very high expectations, but it's nothing that we don't expect from ourselves. So there is this outside noise of what USC needs to be, but I think we are kind of honing that challenge. We're no, we want to be win the Big Ten championship regular season. We want to be national champions. So, again, it's just honing in on every single thing, every single day, regardless of who we're playing. But I don't think we're running away from any expectations. We want to live up to them and challenge ourselves to, play at the highest standard.
You've had a range of games in the sense of, like we said, a close game that you guys won and then a blowout win. This is a new roster with so many new pieces. How much learning have you had to do just gelling-wise as a team?
Oh, my gosh. Just me personally, there's been so much learning. The programs are very different from where I came from to where I am now. So, my coach allows me to play more freely, but that means I need to have a greater IQ. I need to know what my teammates like. So it's been an adjustment for me, but I think my coaches have done a great job of making me feel comfortable and putting me in the right spots. But I think this team, we love each other. We love hanging out with each other off the court. But I think, the more that we keep playing with each other, the chemistry on the court will really start to develop even more.
You're listening to Kiki Iriafen on Trojans Live. And last year you were part of a great tandem, but it was like a 4-5 tandem, sort of big to big. Now you're obviously part of a tandem with Juju Watkins, more of a ball handler, wing, guard. How's that chemistry? How do you work when you have two elite scorers and you guys are trying to find each other on the court and trying to find your spaces and learn each other's games?
I think so far it's been great. We still want to be better. We still want to really know each other ins and outs. Like, I want to know exactly where she wants her screens. She's asking me, Kiki, where do you want the ball? So I think we're still working through, what does the other person like? But I think it's been smooth because we're both very unselfish. Like, she wants the best for her team, and I want to do the best for USC as well. And something that I said coming in here was like, I'm not trying to take over anything. I kind of just want to fit that missing puzzle piece. And, they made it to the Elite Eight, but I want to help us push past that and get to the national championship. So I think we have a lot of great talent all around from 1 to 15, and we're all very unselfish. So I think, as you guys alluded to, it's kind of just making sure that chemistry is clicking at all times.
You do a lot of things. It's not just about basketball. Whether you have, reading your bio, graduating engineering, some modeling in your career. Tell us about that Renaissance woman effect that you like, dabbling in everything and finding out, about life and what you're into.
Yeah, I don't want to just limit myself to one thing. I'm not a basketball player. I'm a human, and I like to do a bunch of different things. So I think basketball has opened so many opportunities for me to model, to, work on the business side and really meet great people. I went to a USC Next Level Sports event, and I met so many great key people a few weeks ago that, I plan to reach out to them in the future and any endeavors that I want. So I think it's, basketball is a great tool, and I'm just trying to maximize everything that I can with basketball in my last year of NIL.
I did see napping on your interest list.
Definitely.
Does that count as an interest? Is that a hobby?
That's probably number one. I love naps.
I'm exceptional at it, so I just didn't know if I could add that to my resume.
It is a
as
skill
well.
too. Napping is not
Like
for
this.
everybody. You can
On the
you gotta
spot,
be able to go out.
anywhere.
Wow.
It could be in
Just
the car,
anywhere.
on the plane.
Maybe I'm not good at it.
No, I'm going to switch it back to non-napping questions, if that's okay. Yes. You mentioned your time previously at Stanford. You got to play under a legendary women's basketball head coach, Coach Vanderveer. What lessons did you learn from her that you'll take with you?
I think Coach Tar really molded me into who I am today, and just slowing down. I feel like I've always been a player that's I want to be so fast, but she's really slow down. And once you are able to slow the game down, then you can choose when you want to be fast, when you want to be slow. And I think also playing under Coach Tar, I learned how to play with other superstars. I've always played with superstars my whole college career, so I felt like the transition to USC was super easy for me because I'm playing with another mega superstar. But I know what to do. I kind of know my role in certain situations, but I think she just really taught me how to slow the game down, which is something that I struggled with early on my freshman year.
Well, you're a superstar yourself, the National Power Forward of the Year last year, projected to be a very high pick in the WNBA. What do you want to work on in your game in terms of getting ready for the next levels? You said this was your first game, so everything's going to be your last, and then you move on to this league, which is just getting so much better year after year. It is so competitive. What do you want to work on so that you'll be ready to go for that?
I think defense is huge for me. Where I was before, I was kind of just a helper, and then I had another helper behind me, so if I got beat, she was blocking that out the stands. So I think here it's my coaches challenge me. They want me to guard on the perimeter, which I think is going to be necessary in the pro level if I want to stay on a roster, if I want to play good minutes. So I'm really up for the challenge, but being able to move my feet quickly, guard 1 through 5 is something that I've been working on. And then, of course, I want the three-point shot. I want to do all the sellies, everything. So I'm always working on my shot. But I think USC does a great job of making me comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Obviously great at inside out. You want the 3-point shot, but tell me about the post moves. I want to know. I was always in the post. I want to know what's your favorite go-to post move in the crunch time of a game.
Recently, it's been I'm going to dribble to the middle, spin back, and finish with my left hand. But typically, I don't even like layups. I like a little jab step shot. That's my go-to most of the time.
So face up, turn a little face up.
I'm a face up girl. Yeah.
I was back to the basket.
Well, you got
no handles.
The mid-range jumper is money. Every time that thing comes off your hand, I think it's going down. It's such an impressive game. She's so much fun to watch. It's such an incredible team, really just taking over this university in so many ways. So we're very happy to have you. We can't wait to watch you this season. There's 2 chances you get this week. Cal State Northridge on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. It's a 7 o'clock tip. Santa Clara is a day game on Friday, a noon game So a chance to get out there during the day. And then a week from Saturday, we just got some great news that the USC-UCLA game will kick off at night.
Football.
That allows football, which allows USC women's basketball, Notre Dame, plenty of time. That's 1 o'clock at Galen. That is just a matchup of stars. Notre Dame has a great player in Hannah Hidalgo. So that's just the rivalry that we think of in football is coming to women's basketball as well. So some really cool games coming up. Kiki is a great player to watch on this team as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Monster Energy is the official energy drink partner of USC. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet. Monster Energy, unleash the beast. And there's a new blood donation competition happening among Big Ten schools, and $1 million prize is on the line. If you bleed Cardinal and Gold, donate blood and submit for the USC Trojans at big10.org/Abbott before December 7. All right, as I said, we're moving things around a little bit because the football team is still on the practice field. So we still have Lincoln Riley to come. We still have Lake McCree to come, but our football roundtable is actually next on Trojans Live.